Good morning, grade 5. Today our lesson 1, unit 10. Let's start. Have you ever watched Ice Age or Jurassic World movie? If the answer is yes, how did people know about mammoths and dinosaurs? And actually no one was living on that time. So the answer for this question will be from, do you know? Let's see. From their fossils. So the lesson for today is, what are fossils? Let's see. What are fossils? Fossils are any remains or traces that left over from animals or plants. Over millions of years, they change to fossils. Do you think fossils only can be skeleton or teeth? Answer is no, because fossils are not only teeth or bones. Fossils, they have different forms and different kinds, and this is what we will see today. How do fossils form? When the animal dies, it settles down on the bottom. Then the soft parts decay, and the sediment cover the body, leaving only the hard parts like bones and teeth and shells. For this animal, we have the teeth and the bones. After this, minerals go inside the bones. Minerals seep inside bones, and by the time they change bone into rocks. Here, last step, the fossil is formed. Let's see also a video about how fossils form. Let's watch. Here, this is a dolphin. Animal looks like dolphin. What will happen to the animal now? Look here, the animal died and it settled down on the bottom of the ocean floor. And then what will happen to the soft parts of the body? The soft parts, as we will see now, they will decompose or decay. And only what will left from the animal will be the bones and teeth. Then sediment, as we see now, will cover the body of the animal. After this, by pressure, minerals go inside the bones and change into fossil. Let's see what will happen to the Earth's surface. As we see here, Earth's surface, they have many changes like earthquakes and the plate tectonics. Here, we will see now the fossil now. Here, part of the fossil is shown up here. And then scientists will come to take out the rest of the fossil. So now it's clear how do fossils form. So let's move to the next point. Types of fossils. We have 5 main types of fossils: cast and mold, carbon film, trace fossil, amber fossil, petrified wood. So how many kind of fossils we have? Stay with me. 5. Cast and mold, carbon film, trace fossil, amber fossil, and petrified wood. So now we will take every kind of fossil and we will speak about each kind of fossil in details. Let's see. The first kind of fossil is amber fossil, and actually this is a picture for a baby mammoth. They found the baby mammoth inside a huge block of ice. So sometimes the whole animal can be preserved in ice. or sap of trees. But this one, they found it inside ice. This baby mammoth was frozen in ice. Soft tissues, bones, and teeth were all preserved in ice. Amber fossil. This kind of fossils for insects and for tiny animals. Trees, they release a sticky substance called sap, as we see here in the picture. This is a tree. It releases something like honey or syrup, something sticky. When insects or animals, they stand on this sticky substance, they get trapped and they can't fly again. So they die, and by the time the sap changed to hard rock and keep the insect body inside. So insects get trapped in tree sap. Hardened sap is called amber. The whole insect is preserved in a sap. Amber fossil is the best kind of fossil. Do you think why? Because amber fossil, it keeps the whole body and keeps all details about the animal or the insect. It keeps the internal organs, the skin, all details about the animal. So this is one of the helpful fossils which helps scientists to know more about organisms. Let's see next kind of fossils. Carbon film. Carbon film, this kind of fossils usually happen for plants, because as we know, plants, they have a lot of soft tissues. They don't have bones, they don't have teeth. They have soft tissues like leaves. So plant tissues contain carbon element. They have substance which is made of carbon. By heat and pressure, when the leaf pressed between two layers, they change into very thin carbon film. This is number 2. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, actually they are two together, fitting each other like pieces of puzzle. We call them cast and mold. As we see here in the picture, this is cast. This is made of mineral or sediment that harden together, and it fits inside the mold. So the mold is like a hollow space, and the cast fill the mold. How this happened? Let's see. When a leaf or a shell was pressed on mud, leaving a hollow space called mold. Here, this is a hollow space which is called mold. Then it filled with sediment that hardened and formed cast here. When the mold is a hollow space, the cast where minerals and sediment, they harden and they form cast which fills the mold. Both of them together like puzzle, they fit together. Petrified wood. As we see here in the picture, it seems like a piece of rock. Actually, it's not. It was a tree, piece of wood. When minerals replace the tissues inside the plant, the wood changes into rock. When a part of the wood goes underground by heat and pressure, minerals seep inside and replace the tissues of wood to rock. This is called petrified wood. Trace fossils, and this kind of fossils, it's something that left from the animal. It can be footprint like here, or it can be leaf impression for plants. Trace fossil can be for both animals and plants. How footprint happens? As the animal walks on mud surface, they leave impression inside, has the same size of their foot. By the time the mud hardens and keep the footprint in the mud. In the leaf impression, is the same way. Leaves fall down on wet mud. By pressure, they leave a space or impression on the surface of the mud. When the mud hardens and dry, they keep the shape of the leaf on them. This is called trace fossils. So now we finished the 5 types of fossils. Are petrified fossils, mold and cast, carbon film, trace fossil, and here preserved remains or amber fossils. How fossil fuel is formed? fossil fuel is a source of energy, is a very energy rich resource that formed from fossils body. Like here, fossil fuel is like, we have three types of fossil fuel: oil, coal, and natural gas. We have three types of fossil fuel. And all of them actually, they are rich with energy. We use them to release energy by burning them. What are they? Petroleum, oil, used for cars. Natural gas, all of us, we have it in our homes, we use for cooking. And coal, it's a black or hard solid. Let's see how every one of them is formed. Let's start with oil. How does oil form? Oil formed from remains of organisms that once lived in the ocean. If you see here with me in this part, you will see tiny drops, tiny dots. These are protists, kind of organisms that live in ocean. Protists live in ocean. Protists, as we said, it's kind of organism. They live in ocean. They take sunlight. They make photosynthesis exactly like plants. The difference is that they are single-celled organisms, and they live on the top layer of the ocean. They have energy, chemical energy. So when protists die, they fall down to the ocean floor and covered with sediment, as we see here in picture 2. Here, protists are here. They died and settled down, and then they are covered by sediment. As sediments cover them with high pressure and temperature, they change into petroleum and gas here. By pressure that comes from the water and the sediment, the protist body changed to oil. This black layer that we see here. Can you see this black layer? This is mean that the oil is formed. Finally, the oil collects in pockets between layers of rocks, and then people, they come to drill it out and take it out. How coal forms? This is another kind of fossil fuel. Here in the coal, as we know that coal is solid. How coal forms? From decayed swamp plants. So first, oil and gas, they form from protists, but this coal is formed from swamp plants. What is a swamp? The swamp is a place that has water and a lot of trees. When they die, they fall down in the water, like here in the picture. Before the dinosaurs, many giant plants died in swamps. And by the time, over millions of years, the plants were buried and covered underwater. They are covered by sediment or dirt, as we see here in the picture. Over the years, heat and pressure, look to how big this layer is. After years, the pressure and heat turned the dead plants into coal, like what you see here. So here are the steps of coal formation. So this is today's homework. We have to write the answers for these 4 questions in the notebook for science. The homework, we have to write the 5 kinds of fossils, and what are the steps of fossil formation, what are the steps of oil formation, and what are the steps of coal formation. See you in next video. Bye bye.